here. I'm talking to a young superstar of the future, of maybe of the present. Who knows? He's bloody done a lot of stuff in this short time now already. His name is Max McNOWN, and you're going to get to know him very quickly. So let's start. Maxie, have you always wanted to be an artist? You know, when did you get the songwriting bug?
The songwriting bug didn't come until much later in life, but the singing bug hit early. The singing bug is kind of like a lifelong thing. Sixth grade is when I thought about it kind of like as a professional dream, like actually wanting to sing as a career. But my family always sang, and it was very normalized to start a tune in the house, and one of my brothers would finish it. So singing's always been big. As far as songwriting goes, I wrote some poetry in high school. That was about it. And then when I turned 21 and I started street performing in Southern California and posting videos, I started to think, man, what if I kind of kept this format of social media content, but wrote my own songs and tried to start promoting them. And so 21, I wrote Freezing in November, and that was my first song I ever released.
Wow. And who plays the trail? Did the parents do anything musical, or who were you following?
Nothing professionally, but I was built wholly by my dad's music taste growing up. So Jack Johnson, Ray LaMontagne, Amos Lee, John Foreman, Zach Brown Band, Matt Carney. Those are kind of the people that
Yeah, good.
were
Good.
my upbringing in music. And my dad also played guitar, and he's got a great voice. And like I said, never anything professionally, but he sang my brothers and I to sleep almost every night before my sister was born. So
Brilliant stuff.
just since as long as I can remember, I just remember the acoustic guitar and my dad.
And he didn't take to you with the strap, it doesn't sound like. He didn't bash you around.
No, not at all.
No,
The
that's good parenting. These
speaking
days.
of straps,
Go
speaking of strap though, funny enough, the strap that's on my guitar and that I will do my best to keep for the rest of my life is the strap that he had when he played for me,
on.
back when we were younger. So
That's good, man. It's very good. You know, consciously, we want to keep connected to the moment in some way. And so that authenticity comes across in social media and stuff today. So as much as you're young in this experience of, dealing in that fashion, decisions about like the strap and all that are much more important than you might think right now, in my view. Okay, Billboard's Country Rookie of the Month, TMT's Next Up Now Feature Artist 2024, been a whirlwind so far. You know, most people are around for 10 years before someone says, "What, you play music?" So you've had a pretty good go. How did that all come about?
it's happened very fast in the grand scheme of things. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. That being said, it's happened in thousands of small steps that kind of look like bigger steps.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's just a bunch of small decisions, and it's like a staircase that you're walking up. And when you look back and you've climbed 100 feet, you didn't just take one jump and get there. You know, it's like you look back and you see how far you've come, and yeah, so it's just kind of been just one day at a time. Keep your hopes level and just keep on grinding. Like when certain accomplishments come, like there are some that kind of blow me back, and I really am forced to stop and smell the roses. But
Where, where do
for
you draw,
better or for worse,
where do you draw the wisdom from? Because sounds like you've got an old head in that young body.
I think it's just how I was raised. I think my grandpa my grandma and grandpa lived across the street from me for most of my life, and my grandpa was a pastor at a community church in Oregon, and
God bless.
um, he's actually going to I have his voice. I'm going to try to kind of um, not try to. I am going to have his voice in one of the more faith-based important songs in my next record that's coming out.
Is he still
Uh,
alive?
he's still alive.
Oh, go,
Yep.
go,
Yeah,
pop.
he's one of the wisest men I've ever been fortunate enough to have in my entire life, and my dad's amazing as well. My dad speaks in analogies often, and so I think that's where I get kind of like the metaphorical songwriting nature.
I'm the analogy king. So,
There you go.
I am. I'm known as the
Right when you started talking about transferred consciousness, I was like, this is one of my guys right here.
Well,
I love this.
we're going to have a longer talk later on. Not today, but we'll have a longer
Yeah.
talk later on because a lot of that stuff, I think that, especially with your religion and stuff, when you get the opportunity, you've got to be a leader. You've got to light people's paths. And so you've got to
Hmm.
find the opportunity to get that dragged out. And a lot of the world is stuck in their head and measurement and all this sort of stuff. And they just see you for what you've achieved and who you are from that perspective. And there's so much more to do than just, get some numbers on a or awards or whatever. All right, you started in
Yeah.
Oregon, but at the moment I've got to get through 10 minutes of doing a music interview for KG, so I'll keep on racing
Yeah.
down there. We'll catch up again another time. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
just before we go on there, my relos were from Hermiston up in Oregon. So whereabouts is that in relation to where you are?
Hermiston, that has to be I
Country.
think that's out, well, out in the country, but I think that's southern or southeastern
Not sure. Let's
because
not
it's the
go on.
place that I visited least, and I don't know Hermiston.
Okay, so you moved to Nashville. Was that with connections or to go there to find connections?
That was with connections.
That's
So when I was
perfectly
moving from
complete.
so I street performed in Southern California. That's where everything started. And then when I was deciding, California is just brutally expensive, and I figured at some point that I was working overtime constantly trying to survive in a place that I couldn't actually enjoy because I was working too hard to try to enjoy it. So that was my kind of final. I realized I needed to figure something else out. So I was deciding if I go to Nashville or if I and just go for music all out. I hadn't released my first song yet at that point. And so I was deciding Nashville or Bend, Oregon, Central Oregon, and kind of hone in what makes me unique, kind of build a brand around the fact that I've lived my whole life in this beautiful place. And so I chose Bend, Oregon, and I think that's one of the most important decisions of my entire career. So by the time I went to Nashville, I had already built the connections via my first song, via the
Yeah.
social media presence I had amassed. Um, and so then I had a base to jump off of. And I always tell this story because I stand by it. If I would have chosen to move to Nashville first, I think I potentially would have quit music. I think it would have been completely different because everybody is incredibly talented there.
Yeah,
It's
they
like every single person is an amazing songwriter, they're an
are.
amazing instrumentalist, they're an amazing singer.
They are.
Everybody's so good. And like someone on a live or something that I was on made a joke, but they're like, it's the world's best musicians working desk jobs. It's
But,
like
but,
everybody is so good.
but, Max, they're not you.
Exactly. But what makes me me? My roots, right? So I
Well,
was like,
that's
I need to
exactly
stay in
right.
Oregon.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we know how would you describe your sound?
I would describe my sound as if there was a line that went from country to folk pop. There's a spectrum there, and that's where I land.
Okay.
It depends on the song. I have certain songs that are the countryest country, and then I have certain songs that are Noah Kahn inspired folk pop music.
Okay.
It depends. It depends on the song, but whenever people ask me genre, I'm always like, I am just the artist that influenced me. So all those artists that I've listed already, plus some of the newer influences like Tyler Childers, Zach Bryan, Noah Kahn, those are every single one of them plays a part, even whether consciously or subconsciously. They all play a part in what I write. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to really place it.
Night Diving came out in January. What's it about? That's your latest album?
What'd you say?
What's it about? What's it all about for the people?
Night diving?
Night Diving.
Night diving is uh, it's it basically touches on my own battles that I've faced with addiction in my life, um, and just how. Because I remember the question that kind of started the writing of the song was what's something that has just cropped up in your life and you kick it down and it just you can't seem to defeat it. You can't seem to put the heel on the head of the snake, and that's what inspired the whole song. So I guess just in a general sense, just the battle against addiction. It's like the worst part, there's a lot of symbolism within it, but the worst part in a battle with addiction is staying silent. And so that's the whole chorus. I'm tired of running from the conversation, screaming in the silence all alone. I miss the innocence that it's taken. I'm frustrated, I can't take it, but I'll fake it, then I'll hate myself again. So it's like you want to fight it and you keep on fighting it, but it's almost a perpetual war, you know?
What are the signature tracks on the album?
Signature tracks, what do you mean by that?
What are the most important? You brought out an album, Night Diving, yeah?
You yeah, Night Diving is the album.
Yeah. So what are the signature? What are the principal tracks that you'd lead if someone was saying, "I'm going to listen to that album"? What are the ones you drive that you direct them to, in your view?
Okay. I'd say Better Me for You. That's just the chorus kind of seems like a classic love song, but there's a lot of deep honesty in the verses that are like pretty blatantly just about the life that I was living that I wasn't proud of, the person I was that I wasn't proud of. So it's like kind of two sides of the story, both in Better Me for You. And then I would say, man, what's a song that I really love? I think the most underrated song that I would want somebody to listen to on my album would be Hotel Bible. I really, really love Hotel Bible, and it's not really in the limelight often. I feel like it's almost overshadowed by Better Me for You and Marley. And so I think my two lead choices when it comes to just who is Max McNown would be Better Me for You and either Hotel Bible or St. Helens Alpenglow. Those are like the most uniquely
Fantastic.
me, I feel like.
Okay, you're touring in April. What are you looking for? Sorry, you're touring. When are you touring here?
In Australia, I'm here right now. I'm in Sydney.
You're here. You're touring this month.
Yes, yeah.
Aha, what are you looking forward to? What can the fans expect?
Um, Lots of energy, um, authenticity on stage. I don't. There's no like front or anything. A couple
They're
nights
not,
ago in Brisbane.
they're not coming if they don't know you, I figure. So they already know who you are.
That's fair. That's fair.
So,
um, but I would say my set, eh, how it differs from my discography is my set is made up of a lot of kind of the more up tempo tracks, and then there's kind of a moment in the set that we give to the more the deeper tracks. But you can expect to hear a lot from the Night Diving album, and quite a bit from the Wandering album as well.
okay, so I'm going to have to finish in a sec because I don't have any time. So I want to ask you some quick questions, if that's all
Yeah,
right.
hit me.
And we've got to have a
Yep.
big conversation, man, because I want to get into all those parts of you, the addiction and all that sort of stuff. But we
Where
can't.
are you based?
I'm in Melbourne. So we can talk anytime because I'm around 24/7,
Okay.
365. So let me give you some quick questions just so we can get some people understanding a bit more about who you are in a quick sort of a sense. Um, what's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Man,
Not
this
fit,
will be
not
on topic.
not fit
I,
for radio, not fit for public consumption.
I don't know. I think it is. I'm the more tame answer is just I'm a big hiker. I love getting to really beautiful viewpoints, camping, all that, and I love sitting on the edge of cliffs. So those are always the weirdest, stupidest things. My mom hates it, but it's a bit of a rush. That's like it just makes you feel very human and very connected with nature. But more recently, I did a shoey in front of a crowd of almost 2,000 people in Brisbane, Australia. So that was
Do we?
I grabbed I grabbed a boot from somebody from the front row, and
Do
I don't know if
we?
I'll have some sort of fungal infection or not, but that's
Worth
probably
it.
the craziest.
It's worth it. What are you talking about? What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
Ooh, oh man, social media. I've been doing social media, and it's such a frustrating, intricate science that's also not a science.
I
So
think
I
we
know
have,
I do my own social media, and I've always done my own social media with like the assistance of my girlfriend these days for consistency posts. So I could
should have
just I
we
just
should have a
I geek
discussion
out.
about how it's destroying people from a religious sense because social media is probably if God was down here, he'd be saying it's Sodom and Gomorrah in my view, but that's just a personal view.
Yeah.
What's the thing?
Let's just say if it was not a necessity for a musical career in this
No, I
day
get
and
it.
age,
I get it. I
I'd
get it.
stay out of it.
I get it. But again, talking about what we're talking about responsibility, you can do good with it, but
Mhm.
you've got to be careful because in itself, I think it's a devil. What's the,
Mhm.
the thing you like most about yourself?
The thing that I like most about myself.
Well, I already know. Yeah, I think you're
Uh,
authentic, man. I think you sound very authentic to me. And in from a youthful point of view, it's not something you come across too quickly. You seem like you're pretty
Thank you.
balanced.
I feel like I feel like I have a lot of I feel like there's been a humility that's been built because I've just made so many mistakes, and if we're going the biblical route, let he who's never sinned cast the first stone. Like
It's a bit far, but I could throw it. I could probably make the distance.
yeah, I've developed um
That was a
kind
joke.
of a
I was going to
uh,
throw a stone because I haven't made any since. But anyway, don't worry about it.
yeah, you've never sinned.
No, never. But lying is sinning. So, how would you know?
Well, you just keep that type of. It's just coming here. Here's my favorite thing about myself. It's not difficult for me to remind myself of how often I've messed up, and I think that is the source of humility
I think so too. I think so too. Groundedness. Okay, we're going to finish now really quickly on some very quick answers. Favorite album?
of all time.
Whatever you choose.
You get what you give. Zach Brown Band.
Favorite artist?
Noah Khan.
Great artist. Favorite movie?
Uh, Specifically Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. But if we're doing one, let's do Hacksaw Ridge.
Ah, I cry so much every time I watch it. It's
Lord help me get
it is
one more.
the most amazing movie I've ever seen, and
True story.
the actor is sensational. Just one
Andrew
more,
Garfield.
just one more, and
Yep.
they sit there and they say, "Where the fuck did all these people come from?" There's one bloke.
Dude, in the middle of bonfire with no weapon.
The
I mean, it's
best,
just
the best.
it's the most miraculous story I think I've ever heard.
Yes, the best story. I love it, and every time I watch it, I bawl, no matter who's there. Favorite place to
Yeah.
visit?
Favorite place to visit? That's a good question. There's just so many. Um, so
Australia
far,
until the end of the tour.
yeah, Australia by the end of the tour. So
Until the
so
end of
far
the
so
tour.
far, I drove out. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, I drove out to Hobbiton when I was in Auckland, New Zealand, and that was like a lifelong bucket list item for me. So
Wow.
if you would have asked me a little while ago, favorite place to visit, that probably would have been it. And now that I've checked it off my list, I think I'll go with the roots. I think I'll go Bend, Oregon.
Ah, God bless. And it's not a bad place, I don't think. Favorite venue to play?
Oh man, I don't I don't know what my favorite venue has been that I've ever played. There was a opera house in Toronto, I believe, that I played that was incredible. But I think the Gorge Amphitheater in Oregon would be number one of like my dream place, and then Red Rocks is number two.
Red Rocks is sensational. Favorite food?
Sushi.
Favorite drink?
Um, Tea with lemon and honey.
Fuck, that's unbelievable. Favorite person in history, apart from me?
um, Either my grandpa or Tim Tebow.
Oh, Timmy. No, I'd love to meet your grandpa. He sounds like a cool dude as well. And
He's
tattoos.
incredible.
What about tattoos? Do you have any tattoos?
Dude, that's so funny that you're asking that. Never had a tattoo in my life, but I promised my drummer way back when this was all getting started, when he first joined the band, that in this before any of this was booked, I said if we ever play a sold out show in New Zealand and I visit the Shire from Lord of the Rings, I will get a tattoo. And as soon as I wrap up with the interview after this one, I'm going to get it.
That's it, man.
So
We've done.
that's it.
You are
All
known.
right.
I know you. You know
I'm
me.
known.
Listen, let's seriously, at
I,
some stage in the future when you're settled or whatever, yell out and we'll
yeah.
have a deeper conversation and pull out some of this stuff so that your fans know a bit more about you. Because I'll ask you some questions that you can share, and especially as you're moving forward, I think it's really important for you to be known. I mean, they might know your work, they might know your music, they might love the way you look, they might love the way you perform. But at the end of the day, you share a bit of stuff I see on Instagram that's faith-based and all this sort of stuff. So you've got a bigger part to play, and I think you understand that. And it'd be good to have someone like me who can ask the questions, sort of pull it out of you. Anyhow,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, man. Have a great
Yeah.
rest of the tour. Enjoy yourself. And I'll put this up and we'll share around.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Same here. All the best. Bye.